Two people get the exact same devastating phone call on the exact same day. Both of them lose a job they had poured years of their lives into. One is crushed by it, bitter, frozen, still furious about it a year later. The other looks back and calls it the best thing that ever happened to them. Same call, same loss. The difference between those two lives is hiding in a place most people don't even know exists. And the man who discovered that place found it in the worst conditions a human being can endure. Viktor Frankl, imprisoned in the Nazi camps, was stripped of everything: his freedom, his family, his name, even his dignity. And he noticed the guards could take all of it except one thing: a single freedom they could never reach, no matter what they did to his body. And once you find that same freedom inside yourself, no one can ever fully control you again. He called it the last of the human freedoms, the freedom to choose your response. Between the thing that happens to you and the way you react to it, there is a space. It's tiny, almost invisible. But inside that space sits the one power nobody can take from you: the power to decide what you do next. In the camps, Frankl watched men walk through the barracks giving away their last piece of bread to comfort someone else while they themselves were starving. Stripped of almost everything, they still proved a person can choose who they are. Now here's why this matters on an ordinary Tuesday, not just in a war. Most people live with no space at all. Something happens: a rude email, an insult, a setback, a bad morning. And they react instantly, automatically, like a knee jerking the second the doctor taps it. Stimulus, reaction, no gap in between. They feel like they're choosing, but they're really just firing off responses to triggers like a machine. The space is where you stop being a machine and start being a person. And here is the secret the calmest, strongest people all quietly share. They were not dealt easier hands than you. They built a bigger space. Between the trigger and their reaction, they learned to slip in a single breath. One beat where they think, "I can't control this, but I can choose what I do with it." That one beat is the entire difference between the person the phone call destroyed and the person it set free. Same event, different space. And maybe you're thinking, but some things are just too big. You can't choose your way out of real loss or real pain. You're right. You cannot always choose what happens to you. But Frankl, who lost more than most of us will ever lose, proved the part that changes everything. You cannot always control the event, but you can always control the response. That space is never fully sealed shut. It was there for him in one of the worst places imaginable. Which means it is there for you in traffic, in an argument, on your hardest day. Everything that happens to you splits into two piles: the part you can't control and the part you can. Stop pouring your one life into the first pile. Go and live in the second. You will never get to choose everything that happens to you. But in the space between what happens and what you do next, you are completely free. And that space is the last thing anyone can ever take.